Hello and welcome to TV 25 Sports. I'm Evan Woodward along with Jeff Mulder, taking a look at the Haslett varsity Vikings here tonight, taking on the Meddleville Thornapple Valley Trojans in the first playoff game at Haslett since 1986. A very, very big game here tonight. Haslett comes in undefeated at 9-0, Thornapple at 8-1. Now, tonight, the Vikings have got a lot of key things that they're going to have to do in order to make things work. Jeff, number one, they're going to have to establish that ground game with Logan Barnhart. I'd say the number to reach tonight would be about 300 yards combined with the three backs. What would you say, Jeff?
So that'd be a good number, a good goal for the team this week at this game. I mean, they haven't thrown too much this season, although late in the season we've seen them pass a few more times, but definitely they got to establish a ground game.
Now, other points that Haslett's going to have to hit on here tonight is they're not going to be able to have all the penalties that they've been having in the previous game. They've been getting a lot of personal fouls, just a lot of problems. I mean, a lot of mental errors. You know, we've had some offsides calls here, but mainly the personal fouls have been the big problem. And you can't come into a playoff game like this and give those yards away to your opponent.
You definitely cannot do that. I mean, Haslett's going to have to try to contain themselves a few times this year that they've been penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, and that just can't happen in a game like this. They're going to have to be able to keep their heads and.
Other things that Haslett's going to have to do is they're going to really have to stop this Thornapple Kellogg passing attack. They're able to throw very, very well, and Haslett last week faced some problems in that secondary against the Gaylord Devils. And they played pretty well, but it was not easy to stop, especially the fade patterns. And you have to think if Meddleville's going to be able to throw the ball well, then they're going to do it.
Hopefully Haslett's corners learn a little something from that Gaylord game on how to play the pass a little better, because if they didn't, then Meddleville's going to be able to throw on them pretty easily all night.
Well, as we know, Haslett's got a great secondary. I mean, at the corners, they've got Ryan Walker and Nathan Cahill, but they really hadn't faced a team that passed as much as Gaylord did until the Gaylord game. And so you have to think how much of that was just lack of, preparation, instead of, lack of ability.
Well, possibly they could have scouted and Gaylord maybe not have passed as much, and maybe Gaylord scouted and has seen the teams really hadn't passed on Haslett this year, and maybe Meddleville did the same and tried to open that up a little bit.
Well, one of the things that Haslett's going to have to also do tonight is play well on special teams. That's been one of the, not really a problem this year, but their kickoff team has been excellent, or kick return team, pardon me. And if they want to continue to be a threat, then Barnhart and Eric back there are going to have to run the ball back very well. Another thing, Alex Williams is going to have to hang on to the ball, returning those punts tonight. He's been doing pretty well so far this season. He's dropped a couple of them, but he's going to have to be at his best here tonight as to avoid those critical turnovers that can happen in big games like this. And in games like this, small, minor mistakes can lead to a loss.
Yes, definitely. Once you get to the playoffs, every team is just as good as you are. There's no more weak teams on the schedule once you get into the postseason. With only 16 teams left in the whole state of Michigan in the Class double-B, no one's going to be too weak in any area.
Yeah, there's just not any easy gimme games left for any of these teams here. And Haslett, especially here tonight, is just going to have to play an all-around great game. And Logan Barnhart tonight, it's a very special night for him. It is his birthday. And Barnhart ran very well against Gaylord last week, and he's hoping to do the same here tonight. Now, as we talk about the crowd here tonight, Jeff, it is amazing. People were here putting blankets down on the bleachers at 5:30 in the morning. That is amazing that people are that pumped up about this game, and you can hear the crowd go nuts here as their Haslett Vikings get ready to take the field. 9-0, first playoff appearance since 1986, and the Vikings are ready to go here tonight.
Here come the Vikings onto the field.
And you can tell they're pumped up and ready to go. Haslett also brought up a few sophomores for tonight's game to dress, get a little more depth on the field.
Sophomores get the experience of being in a varsity game. Probably won't get a lot of playing time, probably none for most of the sophomores, but they get the chance to practice with the varsity squad and help them out, a little scout team.
Well, it's a good thing to bring them up. I mean, the Haslett could find themselves in the same spot next year. As for the Trojan crowd, they are very loud and very rowdy and have filled up that visiting bleachers section very, very quickly. And they have come to support their team, and their team is pretty large as well. And it'll be interesting to see which team comes out and takes the other one on first. It's a big game here, and you got to think whichever team is more prepared is going to have the advantage from the offset here, Jeff.
Yeah, I think both teams would definitely have a key as they want to get off a good start here. Haslett's had a few games where they haven't gotten off as well from the beginning, and hopefully they've worked on that. And Meddleville probably starts well. We haven't seen them play at all this year, and don't know too much about them, but I'm sure they start well if they've got an 8-1 record.
Yeah, another thing about Meddleville is their road here to the playoffs has not been quite as pretty as Haslett's. A lot of their games have been very close, and they're still here though. They've only lost one game, and as for Meddleville, the number one thing that they're gonna need to do tonight is just to be ready against the Vikes. They're gonna have to be prepared to stop that Haslett rushing game. And that's been one thing that really no team has been able to do so far this year.
Well, one thing about Meddleville is we got the starting lineups here. We'll let you see them first.
As you can tell, crowd very, very into this one here tonight. And there is that Viking defense, ferocious in all ways. They've been playing very well this year. 3 shutouts on the year for that Viking defense. And they've been shutting down opposing teams' running games and passing games and have really held this team together all year long. The offense has been fairly consistent, had a couple low-scoring games. Fowlerville and Portland only scoring 14 points, but both of those occasions, 14 was enough.
As I was saying before, Meddleville, they lost their first game of the season this year and are on an 8-game winning streak. And really, if they would have lost another game, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. So Meddleville really had a tough season coming off a first game loss to make it to the playoffs and go 8-1. So they're riding a pretty good winning streak as well as Haslett, and should be a very, very, very good competitive game.
Expecting very physical play tonight. The weather is a little chilly as the temperature expected to drop possibly below freezing tonight. You never know, it is that Michigan weather. But it's a great night for football. The skies are clear. And the Vikings are ready to go. They're going to receive this kick here to open the game. Barnhart and Eric back deep to receive for the Vikings. For the Trojans. Can't tell who their kicker is yet. It appears like it's going to be number 33, Miso Glevin.
I believe that he is also their running back and their star running back at that, their leading rusher this year. Obviously a well-rounded player.
Both teams full of anticipation. Crowds going nuts on each side. Glevin. Squib kicks it, goes off Kleinert, and it looked like they were able to get back on top of it. Haslett as he kicked it very short, and it bounced right off of Jacob Kleinert. And then it appeared to hit Stu Gliwa, and he was able to assist recovering that ball. So Haslett's going to have great field position to start off tonight.
Wow, you couldn't ask for much better field position for Haslett.
I know, starting at your own 43-yard line.
Shortens the field down a lot for the offense. We'll see how they come out. Shively under center.
Especially as explosive an offense as this Viking team has. Shively, and he drew a man off sides, and no official signal yet as to which man it was, whether it's on the Vikings or the Trojans, but I believe it's going to be on the defense. Yes, offsides on the defense, and that's going to move Haslett 5 more yards to have a first down and 5 yards to go.
Probably not what Meddleville wanted to start out with, but players a little bit anxious, and you can expect some of those little penalties like that at the start, little adrenaline.
Another thing about Shively is his cadence is just miraculous. It is very, very good. He's made opposing teams jump all year. And the give is going to be to Shepard off that left-hand side. Shepard met by 3 or 4 Trojans as he goes down after a gain of only a yard.
Sorry, Evan, even with a short carry like that, with a penalty like that, it's 2nd and short now for Haslett.
Only 4 yards to go to make that first down. That same backfield for the Vikings, Ehrig, Barnhart, and Shepard. Shively at quarterback. The give is to Ehrig off the right side. He's wrapped up, spins away, and then is brought down at about the 49-yard line, which is going to bring up a 3rd down and short yardage for the Vikings. What do you do here, Jeff?
I think in this situation, you got to do what you've been doing all year and give it to Shepard. Every 3rd and short, 4th and short, and they've always given it to Shepard. He's always picked up the first down for him. I see him going to Shepard.
Shepard, definitely the most powerful runner on this team. He's very, very good in tough yardage situations. And that's who they're going to give it to, and he's wrapped up in the backfield and taken down by 4 or 5 Trojans as they just hustled that ball. And there, Haslett's going to lose about a yard in the play, which is going to bring up 4th down and 2, and you really don't want to go for it here in this situation this early in the game.
Way too early in the game to go for it. Even with the good field position, you wouldn't want to give them this field position coming right back at you.
Mark Stocker is going to punt for the Vikings. Dan Keel is back deep to receive for the Trojans. Stocker drops the snap, picks it up, nearly tackled. We've got a penalty marker down. Stocker trying to get away, and no such luck as Meddleville's going to tackle him inside his own 35-yard line, but let's see what this penalty is.
Looked like maybe possibly a holding call there in the...
We talked about turnovers before the game. We said that they couldn't happen, and that is really going to hurt Haslett if this penalty is against Meddleville. And the penalty was actually the penalty was against Haslett, and Meddleville declined it. So Meddleville is going to have a first down, 10 yards to go. Inside the Haslett 35-yard line.
So we'll see if Haslett's defense responds, as Meddleville's defense came out and played excellent first series.
Meddleville's offense coming out with a pro formation, triple tight ends. Finkbeiner at quarterback. Actually, double tight ends, split left. Finkbeiner pitches it to the left-hand side. Man is brought down on the far sideline. The carry was from Zaya Shook. Play was good for about 2 yards on the left-hand side. Bring up 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Finkbeiner breaks his huddle. Same formation, split left, double tight end. And there's the give right up the middle to number 33, Mizo Glavin. And he's close to the first down. Harden was the man to bring him down.
As we said before, Mizo Glavin is the team's leading rusher, and he showed it right there, picking up 6-7 yards on that carry.
It's going to bring up 3rd down, about 2 yards to go for the Trojans. Vikings making a late substitution. And Trojans have got a split right pro formation backfield. Finkbeiner. Looked like he was going to run the option, gave it right up the middle to Glavin, and he is going to ramble forward for about 6 or 7 yards. Inside the Viking 20 now. This is not what Haslett wanted starting this game out, Jeff.
Definitely not. As we said, both teams were probably keen on having a good start, and right now Meddleville's got the best of it.
The Vikings looking like they're having trouble stopping Glavin, as Finkbinder's been faking to run the option and handing it off to Glavin. We've got a split left. Cahill's on him. Pro formation backfield. And this time, Finkbinder is going to keep it and be brought down by Jeremy Telfor, as he didn't pick up anything on that play, and if he did, it was only about a yard.
Good play by Telfor, and it looks like he wanted to hand off to the fullback there, but the fullback just wasn't ready to receive the ball or something, so he had to keep it and eat a play there.
Definitely looked like some miscommunication there between quarterback and running back. It's going to bring up second down, about 9 yards to go. You might as well say 10. Ball on the Haslett 19. Finkbinder checks the defense. And it's going to be a run to the left. Looks like he gave it to Glavin, and the Vikings are going to swallow him up quickly. And he only picked up a couple on that play.
So the Viking defense is getting down and dirty a little bit here. Stopping Meddleville for short gains on the first couple downs. Let's see if they can stop him on third down.
Big third down and 7. You have to think Meddleville may decide to go to the air here. It'll be interesting to see. Split right, double tight end, pro formation backfield. Finkbeiner checks with his receiver, and he's going to drop back, straight drop, throws the ball. It's batted down by number 53, Wayne Butler, and that's going to bring up a fourth down. The Haslett crowd goes nuts, and it appears like Meddleville will attempt a field goal here as we've got a little personnel change.
Looks like they're bringing in the tee there. Good play by Butler there just to get his hands up in the air. Wasn't going to get to the quarterback, so he made a smart play and batted it down.
Well, it looks like Meddleville is a little confused out here. They're supposed to be kicking a field goal, and now they're going to be calling their first time out of the game, as it looks like one of the men did not get on the field in time. And with 6:57 remaining in the first quarter, the score, Haslett 0, Meddleville 0. Here's another look at that block. As you can see, Butler just got that right hand up there and pawed it down.
Good play by Wayne there.
Wayne's been playing very well all year long for the Vikings, and very consistent defensive end. Stays at home and plays very well. Now, Jeff, if you're Haslett, do you want to put some pressure on this field goal, or are you thinking that they may want to fake it here since they had the extra time to talk about it in the timeout?
I think you want to go after this one. I think Meddleville's just going to try the field goal here.
Glavin, their all-around star, is going to kick. Number 4, Dan Warner, is going to hold. Kick is straight on. High snap, gets it down, and it's wide to the left. No good. Still 0-0 as the Haslett crowd goes nuts.
We'll see if Haslett can build on a little momentum there by their defense, coming up with a big stop and forcing Meddleville to try a field goal, which was unsuccessful. And
the Vikings didn't really get things going on offense during their first possession, but we'll see if they do it here. They didn't give the ball to Barnhart, and they just went 3 and out. Well, now we've got Shepard, Ehrig at wing left. Shepard and Barnhart in the backfield. And the give was to Barnhart right up the middle, and he didn't have much room there. Meddleville looks pretty prepared for this Viking offense so far.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of guys up in the box, and realizing that Haslett doesn't throw very much, and hopefully Meddleville looks like they're relying, hopefully, that their corners can be able to get back out, or their safety can get it back out into pass coverage if Haslett does pass. But they're putting a lot of guys up front. Stop that run.
Same formation for the Vikings. Ehrig wing left, Shepard, Barnhart in the backfield. The give is going to be to Barnhart off the left side. He busts a big hole. Barnhart, he is gone. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Vikings. And Barnhart is going to be called for taunting. The flag was thrown, and he had slowed down and was handing the ball to the official, and I think he's going to get a taunting call here. But it doesn't really matter because the Vikings have just gone up 6-0 over the Meddleville Trojans.
And right there is a good indication that the refs aren't going to take anything tonight. They're going to call pretty much everything, and Logan shows the ball just a little bit to the Meddleville defense, and he's going to get a 15-yard penalty off of that one. Great play by Haslett, though, and Logan gets a nice birthday present there.
And let's take a look at the official call. He's just going to say touchdown, and then he's going to say dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the Vikings.
So this extra point try is going to be just a little bit longer here for JJ.
It's going to be a lot longer. Looks like they're going to back the ball up to about the 17-yard line. And that's where Danhoff's going to have to attempt this extra point.
It's going to be about a 35-yard extra point attempt here, Evan. And that's a long ways for a high school kicker.
Yes, it is, but this is no ordinary high school kicker. This is J.J. Danhoff, brother of Matt Danhoff, who was all-league last year. J.J.'s played very well so far this year. This, without a doubt, though, is going to be his hardest extra point try. Saltzgaber will hold. And that's low and no good. But the Vikings on top 6-0 as they draw first blood from the Meddleville Trojans.
So the taunting penalty ended up hurting the Vikings there as 35-yard field goal, or extra point, excuse me, was no good. And maybe he tried to kick it just a little too hard, knowing that he was back a little bit further, and that could have caused the miss.
One thing that amazes me about Barnhart is that breakaway speed. Look at this. As soon as he hits that hole, he is gone. No one is going to catch him. He outran Kevin Van Ryn there, was the last man to try to catch him, and he couldn't.
Right there's the taunting penalty. He pointed the ball to defense, and
can't have that going on, and the Vikings are going to have to avoid that later in the game. Haslett set to kick off. Back deep to receive, I think, is number 9, Dan Keel. But they're going to kick it low and away. It's picked up by one of the up men, number 22, Tim Stevens. And he is going to be brought down by Brendan Harden. Didn't get much of a return on that, only brought it out to about his 24-yard line, and that's where Meddleville will go to work.
Harden with an excellent play right there. Got a replay here as Harden comes up and just absolutely hammers him, and there's no way he's going to keep running after that hit.
Same formation for the Trojans. And they're going to run it. Looked like they were going to run an option as he faked it, but he gave it right up the middle to Mizo 11, and he's going to move it out to about the 34.
So it looks like Meddleville's trying to establish Miso Glavin there as their premier runner, and they've given the ball to him a lot tonight.
Yeah, he's been running very well. He picked up about 9 yards there on that play. The split right is Ken Van Ryn. As they set their offense, the give is to Glavin again, and he busts out off the right-hand side, breaking tackles as he rambles all the way inside the Haslett 40-yard line. First down and much, much more for the Meddleville Trojans.
So Glavin comes right back, and Meddleville's looking good and moving the ball on the Haslett defense here, and doesn't look like the touchdown affected that offense too much.
No, they came right out, and they're running right at the Vikings. Looks like Meddleville is just going to stay in this same set here all night, Jeff. They haven't gone out of this formation. Finkbeiner, and he keeps it this time and pitches it. The pitch was to number 14, Zaya Zook, and he was absolutely hammered there on the Vikings sideline.
Mark Trotter on the hit, and he's known as a big hitter, and he proved it right there. That was an excellent hit there.
Trotter was just a devastating blow there. And the Trojans did manage to pick up about 2 yards on the play, which is pretty good considering it looked like they were going to be stuffed in their own backfield. Well, now we've got a different formation. We've got twins to the right in the pro formation. Finkbeiner, it's going to be a reverse. And there is nowhere to go for number 88, Nate Price. He is wrapped up and brought down by number 30, Ben Murray.
Looks like Jeremy Telfer also in on the tackle there.
It's going to be a 3rd and long here for Meddleville.
So a little trickery from Meddleville there, but Haslett's defensive end stay home and read the play well and made a good play.
3rd down, 7 yards to go. Finkbeiner checks the defense. One safety is back for the Vikings. And they're going to run it with Glavin, and he's got room and a 1st down to the Haslett 21-yard line. And I was wondering when they were going to go back to their bread and butter, Jeff. Haslett's not been able to stop him yet.
They haven't even been close to stopping him yet. He is just running wherever he wants. Huge holes for Glavin to run through right now. The Meddleville offensive line is doing an excellent job right now of opening holes for him.
Most of the running's been on that right-hand side. And the Vikings making a defensive line substitution, putting in big number 77, Brandon Dutcher, try to plug up those holes. And there's the run. It's going to go to Glavin again, but he still moves forward for about 3 yards.
Brandon Dutcher.
And Dutcher was the man to make that stop.
Ball at the 19-yard line, 2nd and 5.
Actually, he may have picked up even more than 3 yards.
He's a tough, hard runner, and hasn't found a way to stop him yet.
Now,
Possibly have to make an adjustment.
If I'm Meddleville here, I might go to the air on this play, and if it doesn't work, then just go right back to Glavin. And they do have twins split out to the right. And here's the play. It's going to go up the middle with number 22, Tim Stevens. He moves forward about a yard or 2 shy of the 1st down.
Big play right here. 3rd and short. Well inside Haslett territory, inside the 20 for red zone.
This is the 2nd time Meddleville's been down here. The 1st time they came back with nothing, and this time they'd like to have something to show for it. Split right, pro formation, backfield. Finkbeiner calls the signals and hands it to Glavin. He moves forward, looks very close. He may not have gotten it. Nope, he did get it as the official is signaling for 1st down. Clock continues to roll here.
So once again, Glavin gets the ball and picks up a 1st down there.
In case you're just joining us here on TV 25 Sports, we're bringing you 1st-round playoff coverage between the Haslett Vikings and the Meddleville Trojans. Haslett on top 6-0, but Meddleville is threatening. Twins to the left for Finkbeiner. And they're going to run it with Glavin. He spins one man, and then Harden is going to bring him down after he picks up about a yard, down just inside the 10-yard line.
Good play there by Harden.
Wrapped him up and brought him right down.
So Meddleville set up the run very well. We'll see if they come with the air anytime soon. They got twins to the left on this set, Evan.
They've only thrown the ball once so far tonight, and it was battered right back in Finkbeiner's face by number 53, Wayne Butler. Let's see if they go to the air here. Fumbled snap, and Finkbeiner did not get it back. I think the Vikings have it. Yes, they do. Number 51, Jimmy Mulholland on the fumble recovery, and a big play there for the Vikings.
Jimmy Mulholland always finds himself right in the right place and always makes big plays for this Haslett team. He's a very solid player and makes a lot of tackles, but he also makes big plays that this team needs to win, and he's been a key contributor to that defense this season.
What a big mistake for Meddleville. As you can see, he just lost the ball, and it falls in the legs of the defenders, and he wasn't able to get it back. Viking offense, they're going to give it to Barnhart again, and he's got room, but it's brought down from behind by number 70, Jeremy Vandepfeiffer.
And I believe that Jeremy Vandepfeiffer is the leading tackler for this Meddleville Trojan defense this year.
Barnhart still manages to pick up a good 7 yards on the play. This clock ticking down inside of 1 minute left to play, 1st quarter. Scheibele. And the handoff is right up the middle again with Barnhart. He has no room there as we get some noise from that Meddleville crowd. Meddleville's been playing well tonight. They've been inside the Haslett 20 twice, but just have not been able to come back with any points yet.
Meddleville's defense also playing very well. They've given up that one big play to Barnhart.
3rd down, about 3 yards to go for the Viking offense. Meddleville stacking the line up pretty good here. And Scheibele's going to keep it. And he is wrapped up and will be stopped well behind that 1st down marker. And that's going to bring up a 4th down for the Vikings.
That'll run out the 1st quarter, too. A very fast 1st quarter there. The ball wasn't dead very much, and the clock was ticking away, and got through that quarter pretty quick, and we got a 6-0 lead for the Haslett Vikings over the Meddleville Thornapple Catalog Trojans.
Now, the Vikings have got to be happy with their 1st half performance, but there's also got to be some problems. They have not yet stopped Miso Glavin, and it was only for that fumble that the Trojans were stopped. And there's Coach Porritt discussing with Brandon Harden, key player on the defense, maybe what to do to stop Glavin, as the Vikings are going to have to put a stop to his running if they want to keep these Trojans away from him. But right now, they've got a big problem. They're going to have to punt from inside their own 20-yard line, and the last time they punted, the snap was fumbled by Mark Stocker, as it's got to be hard to catch that ball in such cold weather conditions.
Even if he gets his punt off, Meddleville is most likely going to have very, very good field position.
And it looks like they're going to go after it. They've only left 1 man deep. And Meddleville is going to try to block this one.
Smart move by Meddleville.
Snap is good. Stocker gets it off. A good punt. High spiral. And it's going to drop down about the 43-yard line of Haslett. But Meddleville is going to have excellent position to start off this offensive possession.
Like we said, even if you get it off, it's just going to leave Meddleville with very good field position as Haslett recovers the fumble but can't move the ball at all. And I'm going to give Meddleville the ball back after 3 plays with good field position and see if they can stop Glavin. And I got to see Meddleville going right back to Glavin.
Yeah, they've got a twins formation split out to the left. Pro backfield. Finkbeiner. And he's going to hand it, and we've got a penalty marker down. I can only assume it's holding. It was thrown by the umpire, and it's most likely going to be holding against the Trojans. And it is. 9 times out of 10, when the umpire throws a flag, it's going to be holding against the offense. So that's going to move Meddleville back 10 yards from the spot of the foul, but it looks like the spot was a few yards forward, so let's see where they put the ball.
That must have been a very blatant hold, as soon as the play started, the umpire had already thrown the flag.
Yeah, it was a very quick flag, but it's going to bring them back to about 1st down and 17. Pro formation, late substitution for Haslett. They're going to get away with it, though. And the give is going to be to Glavin. He'll pick up about 3 off that right side.
So now with that penalty, Haslett's defense has got Meddleville's offense in a position that they would like to keep them in. A long, long 2nd down here.
Yeah, Meddleville's going to have to put the ball in the air or do something here in order to try to pick up this yardage. And it's been tough yardage against the Viking defense. The only thing that they've been able to move the ball with is Glavin. Finkbeiner. And he fakes the toss, throws it deep. Cahill was beaten, and number 5, Ken Van Ryn, dropped the ball as the fake had obviously gotten Cahill, and he was beaten to the far corner, but luckily for him, Van Ryn dropped the ball.
Excellent play there, and Meddleville obviously scouted Haslett and thrown a little bit of a fade, but also with a great fake, and Cahill bit on it just a little bit, and that was all the room that number 5,
Ken Van Ryn,
needed, and he just dropped the ball.
Yeah, it's not often that you're going to beat Cahill like that, and when you do, you need to catch the ball, and Meddleville wasn't able to do it, and they're left with a 3rd and long here. They're going to throw a little wide receiver screen. Actually, no, it's a halfback pass, and they're going to call pass interference on number 28, Alex Williams, and that's a good call as he bumped into the receiver before the ball was there. The ball was intended for number 22, Tim Stevens, and Williams hit him early on the play.
Williams just got caught up in the air there and jumped to get the ball, but the receiver is still running in stride, and the receiver's got first right to the ball there, so they're going to call the penalty on Alex there.
And even though it's more than 15 yards to a first down, it's going to be an automatic first down because pass interference comes with that. So Meddleville gets a break here from the Haslett defense and moves the chains. That's a penalty you really can't afford to get called on a lot with the automatic first down.
It's one of those penalties that we talked about in the pregame that just couldn't have. Haslett's had a few of those already tonight.
Finkbeiner is going to hand it to Glavin. There is not a lot of room as he does spin on a great second effort to pick up a couple yards, but he was wrapped up pretty quickly by the Vikings. Still managed to get some good yardage. The Vikings are really going to need to start wrapping up and moving him backwards.
Like we said before, though, penalties were going to be a problem for the team that had the most, and right now Haslett's got a unsportsmanlike conduct 15-yard penalty that cost them an extra point, and right there it cost them possession of the ball.
Interesting to see if Meddleville can do something with it here, and they're going to hand it off that left-hand side to number 14, Zaya Shook. And he's going to move the ball for about 5 yards. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and short. Meddleville's offense has been able to move the ball. They just have not been able to punch it in. Here's another look at that handoff to Shook. He's brought down from behind by Murray. You got to think they're going to go to Glavin here.
3rd and short like this, I got to agree with you, Evan.
And Finkbeiner draws the defense offside, and that'll be an automatic first down, assuming that none of his offensive linemen moved.
So once again, Haslett defense with another penalty that's going to give Meddleville a first down, and their defense has really kept this drive alive for Meddleville.
Boy, Coach Porritt must really be pulling his hair out right now, as the Vikings have had a few key penalties to keep this drive alive. And it's going to be a handoff to Glavin, and he had room on that right-hand side, picking up some good yardage.
I got a feeling we're going to be hearing his name a lot more tonight, Evan.
Yeah, he's definitely the workhorse for this team. Picks up about 7 on the play. Got to think the Vikings are going to make some adjustments at halftime to try to stop him as the clock rolls to about 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Vikings on top, 6-0. Finkbeiner. And he's going to keep it and pitches it, and it's nearly dropped. But Zaya Shook was able to hang on to it as he went out of bounds on the far sideline, but it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Comes up limping a little bit there.
There's a look at Mr. Town's daughter, Ashley, and his wife. They're obviously having a good time here tonight. Mr. Town, the TV25 director here at Haslett. Very fortunate to have him along with us. Finkbeiner, and Haslett showing blitz possibly. Changed the play, gave it to Glavin, and he's going to be close.
This possibly could need a measurement here.
Well, the dial-it-down marker is moved to 4 and then back to 3, but the official is going to signal for a first down. And Meddleville really threatening again here. All 3 times they've had the ball, they've gotten in the Haslett red zone, and they haven't come out with any points yet, but that may change. First down and goal.
And there we are.
There's a
up in the
look
press
at us
box.
up here in the booth. As here's Finkbeiner. as he pitches it to Glavin. Glavin with a lot of room. Knocked down inside the 5. Yeah, Jeff, is that a little bit of pizza sauce there on the side of your face?
All right now.
Good play there by Meddleville as they are really starting to threaten. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and goal. Mark Trotter came up with a stop on that one.
So big threat here by Meddleville. Haslett's defense really has to rise to the occasion here.
Yeah, they're really boxing up and not giving a lot of leeway here as they're not expecting Meddleville to go to the air. And they won't. The quarterback's going to keep it, but he's brought down from behind. And it looks like Haslett may have stripped the ball.
And they did.
Inside the 5-yard line, Meddleville fumbles again. And Haslett has been so fortunate tonight that Meddleville has not yet punched it in on any of their red zone opportunities. Their offense has consistently moved the ball. They've gotten deep into Haslett territory, but each time they've come out with nothing. And the Vikings get another big break that time as Finkbeiner fumbled again.
Wow. That's one of the keys that we talked about, turnovers, and Meddleville's given up 2 already.
And the Vikings have given up 1.
Haslett's buried way back in their own territory now, though.
And the handoff is off the left-hand side. And they're going to move it out to about the 5-yard line, getting a little more real estate running with Barnhart there.
Still way back in their own territory. Not really where you want to start an offensive drive, but Haslett will take it after Meddleville moved the ball on a few Haslett penalties, and the defense came up with another fumble recovery.
Now, if Meddleville had kicked that field goal and then scored 2 touchdowns, they'd be up 17-6 right now. But as a result of those 2 fumbles, they still stand at 0. The handoff is going to be to the far side, and it's going to go to Ehrig, and he had a lot of room, and he moves forward for a Viking 1st down. A lot of daylight there.
We got the Haslett defense there, Coach Porritt.
Drawn up on the grease board there. Obviously trying to figure out what to do here.
Stopping Glavin there.
It's not going to be easy. The Vikings have been fortunate.
Excuse me. Wrong line. 15-yard line. 1st down.
Vikings with the ball at their own 15. Handoff went off that left side. Not much daylight, only 2 or 3 yards on the carry.
I don't know if you've noticed, Evan, but the refs are a little bit slow to blow the whistle on Haslett's offense there. I mean, Shepard was down for a few seconds before they blew the whistle, and the refs know that this team has pretty good faking abilities. And
yeah, the refs don't look like they're too familiar with the wing T offense. Shepard is going to be wing right. Barnhart and Ehrig in the backfield. And that's who they're going to give it to is Ehrig, but he's got 3 men to stop him over on the right-hand side, and he may have lost a yard or 2 on that play, Jeff.
Ehrig, tackled by Lavoie.
Very quick defensive play right there. Meddleville shows their speed.
Ehrig a little slow to get up there, but he moves back into the huddle. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10 for the Vikings.
You belong to a green Ford minivan. You left your lights on. Green Ford minivan.
Meddleville defense getting things set up. The Vikings with their usual wing T backfield. And Shively kept it, and he's knocked out of bounds about the 29, and he picks up the Viking 1st down. A great call there. Plenty for the 1st down.
Shively with hard running there for a quarterback. He doesn't get too many carries in this offense, but he showed right there that he's going to make the most out of every single one.
Great running there by Shively.
799.
He picks up those last couple tough yards for Haslett.
He's not going to slide down like most quarterbacks.
And the ball went to Barnhart. And he had some daylight off left tackle. And he's going to bring it out. It looks like another 1st down.
Logan just kind of popped out of the pile there, found some little bit of a hole there and made the most of it and picks up a first down for Haslett, and their offense has moved the ball well, starting at their own 2-yard line here, Ev.
Yeah. Playing excellent right now. Moving the ball fairly consistently. Shively. He's going to hand it to Barnhart. He's got, he had, looked like he had a lot of room on the right-hand side and then was knocked out of bounds by 2 players, but he still picks up 15 on the carry. Actually, more about 20.
Hard running by Logan there as Shively and Logan have both shown on this drive that they're not going to go down easy.
Here's another look at that play. Barnhart couldn't quite get there before those last 2 defenders did, but still a great run.
Logan running well as well as Glavin is right now.
If not better. Shively's going to give it to Eric, and everyone was fooled. And a fumble, it's picked up by Meddleville, and he's going to run, and he knocked Shively out of bounds. Couldn't quite tell what happened. He did step out at about the 30-yard line. It was returned by number 9, Dan Keel. There is a penalty marker on the play.
We'll have to see what the penalty is there.
I'm going to assume that it's going to be against the Vikings.
And if so, Meddleville's going to stop a very, very good drive by Haslett's offense there.
And I think that actually the penalty is going to go against Meddleville here. Here's another look at this play. As you can see where Eric fumbled.
Number 9, Dan Keel there. But on the penalty, Haslett's going to retain possession. Got to look at the crowd there.
The Vikings fortunate to get the ball back after that one. They've had a lot of luck in this first half.
So 3 minutes and 39 seconds left in the first half. Haslett gets a little bit of luck there. A little help from the refs.
And the ball is going to be moved inside the Meddleville 20-yard line.
Did you catch what that penalty was there, Evan?
No, I couldn't see. It was on the far end of the field, and I wasn't able to see what the official had called. Actually,
there's a face mask as the ref gives us the signal there.
Face mask call of the 15-yard variety.
So as Haslett's defense helped Meddleville out to keep their drive going, Meddleville's defense helps Haslett's offense out there.
The only difference is Meddleville continuing to turn the ball over inside the Haslett 20. There's the give to Eric, and he cuts back for the touchdown. And the Vikings gonna go up 12-0 here. I think that they're gonna most likely go for 2. But no, there's a holding call on Haslett. That's gonna come back. Here's another look. Can't quite see where the holding was. It was a great run by Eric, but this penalty is going to take the Vikings back 10 yards.
So a big call there as penalties have played a very, very important role in this game so far. There's a 15-yard penalty there.
Actually, I think it was a personal foul. Still couldn't tell who it was on, or exactly what the infraction was. But the Vikings have backed up now to 1st and 25. Shively's going to keep it, and he has got a lot of room moving inside the 20, steps out of bounds. He picks up a good 13 yards on that carry.
Shively with some more tough running right there as he got hit pretty hard right there at the end of the play, but pops right back up and heads to the huddle.
Clock really not an issue right now for the Vikings. There's still 3.5 minutes left.
And there's Shively.
Running very
Look right
hard.
here, he gets hit real Pretty hard there by number 72, Ben Lucas.
And Haslett's going to call their first timeout to discuss things. It's going to be 2nd down and 9 here. It's coming out for the Vikings. Now, Jeff, I'm not sure what those Meddleville coaches ate for breakfast this morning, but a lot of them are wearing shorts.
Yeah,
And,
I'm a little puzzled by that too. I don't know.
I'm pretty cold up here in the booth, and I've got a jacket on and everything, and I just don't understand what would possess a man to wear shorts to this game, but maybe it was some kind of a bet with the players.
Possibly could be something superstitious, maybe a little good luck or something.
Yeah, you never know. Athletes oftentimes are very superstitious.
But in any case, he's wearing shorts, and I'm guessing those coaches are cold right now.
I'm guessing he's hurting. Atluski discussing with his offense what's going to happen next. As there's a look at the Meddleville team. Second down, 9 yards to go. 3:26 remaining in the first half.
At a packed Viking stadium tonight.
Shively. He's going to hand it to Barnhart. And he is going to pick up about 4 or 5 yards on that carry. 3rd down for the Vikings. Moves it to the 12.
So they go to Barnhart.
And it's going to bring up 3rd down, about 5 yards to go. From the Meddleville 13, Ehrig, wing right. Barnhart. Ehrig in the backfield. Actually, Shepard is wing right. And they're going to go with Ehrig, and he is going to be stopped quickly. And Haslett, I would guess, is going to go for the field goal in this situation.
A lot of Meddleville Trojans there to make that tackle.
Good play to converge on the ball as Meddleville appears to finally have put the stop to this drive. Here's another look at that run with Ehrig. As you can see, stopped, hit very hard by number 86.
Zach Truer. Excellent hit.
Another timeout for the Vikings. You have to think maybe a fake here, or maybe they're just going to decide to go for it. They do have still a good 5 yards to make if they do decide to go for it on this play. And they have busted a few plays open here tonight, but Meddleville's defense not really giving anything away.
But don't forget, I do believe that backup quarterback Pat Saltzgaber is the holder, and we've seen Pat lead the Vikings to victory in, I believe, 4 games this season, or was it 3?
Well, here's another look at that hit. Ouch. You can see Ehrig go right backwards. Yeah, Saltzgaber leading the Vikings to victory in the big 2 games he did that in were Portland and Fowlerville. He also helped them beat Stockbridge. Puts it down. The kick is up, away, and it's good. The Vikings go on top 9-0.
J.J. Danhoff there with an excellent field goal.
Danhoff missed that first extra point, but it was from about 35 yards out, and kicks that field goal in with no problem.
A lot more relaxed there, Danhoff looked.
Well, the Vikings will be kicking off to Meddleville, leaving them 2:17 left on the clock.
So we'll see if Meddleville go to the air here, maybe.
I don't think the Vikings are going to kick this ball deep. I think Danhoff's just going to keep it low and squibbly and try to make one of the up men pick this up. It's getting colder here. A lot of the players wearing long sleeves. Danhoff is going to kick this ball fairly deep. It's dropped at the 15-yard line. And then they try to do a little starburst, and it's not going to work. They're only going to bring the ball out to about their own 14-yard line, as it looked like Nate Lavoie was the man to finally get the ball. But not a good idea to run that starburst after you fumble the kick.
Great kick there by J.J. Danhoff as he comes off a nice field goal. Makes a nice kick to start off.
Meddleville's got a lot of green in front of them to try to get down and score a touchdown. Wouldn't be surprised, Jeff, if you're right and they do go to the air. Throw backfield and twins to the right. Oh, they're just gonna go back to their bread and butter there, handing it to Mizo Galevin.
It looks like Haslett's starting to key on him just a little bit more, and he's not picking up those 7, 8, 9-yard gains that he usually, or that he has been.
Yeah, he picks up about 4 there. The clock ticks inside of 2 minutes. Viking defense looking for the deep ball. And Finkbeiner hands it up the middle. Only about 2 or 3 yards there. Glavin running again. Stu Gliwa made the stop. Glavin's really been the only workhorse here tonight. None other players really picked up any yardage from Meddleville.
Nobody else has done anything for Meddleville offensively tonight. As quarterback Dan Finkbeiner has fumbled a few times.
That's really hurt his team. Inside the 22 times and you fumble it. And there's a throw from Finkbeiner to the far sideline. It's going to be called incomplete. And Meddleville is going to be forced to punt, leaving Haslett with still a good 51 seconds on the clock. That might be enough time to score.
Possibly get it back into field goal range even, as JJ showed that he's capable of making those and on the last possession.
It'll depend on how good this kick is that we see from the Trojans.
We'll see if Alex Williams hangs on to the ball. He's had a few problems last game against Gaylord.
Jeremy Vandepfeiffer to punt the ball for the Trojans. Williams waiting back at his own 45-yard line. Low snap. Handled well. A horrible kick. And it's going to hit his own man. And then Cahill is going to down it at the 33-yard line with 45 seconds left on the clock. Haslett with 1 timeout remaining.
Horrible punt there, and this is going to give Haslett excellent field position here with 45 seconds left and a timeout.
Just an atrocious kick as it was far too low, and it ended up hitting one of his own men in the back and taking a good Haslett roll as Cahill wisely decided to jump on it before it hit one of his teammates.
Smart play by Nathan there, and Haslett's got 3 split.
And they can't seem to get this play right as Smith is going to come back.
Jeff Smith's going to come back in.
He was obviously set wrong as Shively had called him back in. The give is going to be to Barnhart. He breaks a tackle. Moves it inside the 20-yard line. Barnhart to the 10-5. Not going to score there. This is knocked out right at the 1.
So a little bit of trickery there from Haslett as Meddleville probably expecting pass in this situation. Haslett throws 2 out to the left. Has big Jeff Smith on the right side, and then they just hand it up the middle to Logan Barnhart, and a big, huge hole there.
Vikings playing great football late here in the first half. Shepard, wing right. Barnhart and Eric in the backfield. Give us to Barnhart. It's going to be pushed backwards. Not a lot of room there. Otluski telling his team to hurry up, and they're going to call for a timeout with 30 seconds remaining.
So possibly look for Haslett to go outside here. As I doubt that Meddleville throwing up a Kellogg is going to leave any room up the middle. Maybe go to Shepard here in short yardage situation, but I think the pass could be open here, Ev.
It'd be interesting to see if Haslett goes to the air, especially with no timeouts remaining. If you run the ball, you're going to have to go right up. In this situation, Otluski's going to have to call 2 plays here in this huddle so the Vikings can get set right back up if they don't score on the first one.
Excellent point, Evan. And I think we're going to see Haslett go to the air here. Maybe outside sweep to Barnhart or Ehrig, both with very good speed. But Meddleville's defense has showed good speed also. And
if they go with the middle, don't be surprised if they hand it to big number 32, Steve Shepard. Picks up those tough yardage plays.
So teams break from the timeout huddles and
regular set for the Vikings. Meddleville stacks the line. You think they might bring their backers up a little more, but they don't. They give this to Ehrig. No, actually, Shively kept it, and he's going to be brought down, and brought down hard. And they're going to call a flag, I think, on Meddleville for trying to delay the game.
Ball's going to be down at the 3-yard line.
Personal foul on Meddleville for trying to hold Shively down there to get that clock to continue to roll. They might put a few more seconds on it as it rolled past where the official wanted it to.
They're going to put 5 more seconds up on the clock for Haslett. Move it up to 22 seconds. We'll see what the play is here.
They're going to mark the ball at half the distance to the goal line. So let's see where it's going to be. Looks at about the 2. And the clock is rolling. The Vikings need to score here. Ehrig, touchdown. Haslett going up 15-0. And they're going to go for 2.
12.7 seconds left.
Here's a look at that play again. Ehrig, and no one was able to touch him as he just rolls right into the end zone.
So Haslett goes up 15-0, and they're going to go for 2 here.
Wise decision. Try to get a 17-0 lead. Shively. And he's going to throw. He's got Shepard wide open, and he's got it. 17-0. The Vikings on top of Meddleville here.
So that punt really, really hurt Meddleville as they gave Haslett excellent field position to start this drive on their own 33, and then Haslett comes right out, moves the ball right down to the 1-yard line. 3 plays later, Peter Ehrig's in the end zone, and Steve Shepard's got a 2-point conversion to put the Vikings up 17-0. Definitely not what Meddleville wanted.
Gotta say also, Meddleville is not playing that smart of football. You gotta think that the officials are gonna be watching to see if you're trying to get that clock to roll. And holding those Viking players down, not exactly what I'd call a smart play.
Even though it probably ate up a little bit more time, it probably would have been just as smart just for the get right back up. It probably would have ran the clock down. Haslett might have been just a little bit hurried.
But the Vikings punch in another score and go up 17-0. And barring a minor miracle here, that's what the score will be going into the half.
So Dan Haas set to kick off for the 3rd time this half. 4th time, my fault, excuse me.
And
3rd.
Good kick over there on the left-hand side. Will be taken about the 20-yard line. Butler tried to make the stop, and the runner is going to move it out to about the 37 with 5.9 seconds. Tim Stevens was the man on the return.
So Dan Hoff with a good kickoff there and good coverage.
Benbrook was the man to finally bring him down.
This will probably be the last play of the first half here, and
Meddleville's going to spread things out. Split right, split left, pro formation backfield. Finkbeiner. And no, he's just going to hand it right up the middle of the Glevin as they're going to play it safe and go into the locker room. Down 17-0 to the hosting Haslett Vikings, who've been playing excellent football so far.
Haslett's defense has allowed Meddleville to move the ball pretty well, but they come up big when they need it and cause a few fumbles and get a few recoveries, and those turnovers are really the keys right now to Haslett being up.
Yeah, the Vikings also have been fairly lucky, I would say, not to have Meddleville score yet. They've been inside the Haslett 23 times, And we keep mentioning those fumbles, but they're so key. The turnovers can be so key, especially in big playoff games like this. And that's really hurting Meddleville right now because they could have had a couple scores there and we'd have possibly a 3-point game. But as a result of those turnovers, they are down 17-0. And going into halftime down 17-0 against the Haslett Vikes is a real tall order to try to get things back going your way in the second half. And although they will get the ball to start things off, it's not going to be easy.
Especially against this very, very good defense that Haslett has.
Yeah, the only problem the Vikings have had so far tonight has been stopping Miso Glavin, but I'm sure that they're going to discuss that in the locker room. We are going to turn things over, though, to the Haslett Viking Marching Band. And I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but they did come home with a first division at Festival this year. And the band has been excellent this year, and they've had a little more time. And my hat's off to the band for practicing out in that cold morning weather every day this week. They get out there about 7:30 in the morning and get things going. And for those of us around the area, we know that the weather at 7:30 in the morning is not very forgiving. So we're going to hand it over to the band here, directed by Jim McCaffrey, and the drum major is Robin Vatz.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the 1998 Haslett High School Viking Marching Band. Under the direction of Mr. James E. McCaffrey and Mr. Gregory J. Lindsay. Drum major Robin Vatz is the band ready to present their first division award-winning show of the season. The band begins their 1998 presentation, a salute to Broadway musical, with the jazz prologue from the popular Broadway musical, City of Angels. No school to Broadway musicals would be complete without including a tune from one of the many popular melodies made famous by the incomparable Barbara Streisand. The band continues their presentation with one of Streisand's first hit musicals, Funny Girl. We feature our color guard to the driving tune, Don't Rain on My Parade. The band concludes their final halftime presentation with a beautiful and compelling ballad from the Tony Award-winning musical, A Chorus Line. Here is the lush Marvin Hamlish ballad, What I Did for Love. The marching band was directed by Mr. James McCaffrey and Mr. Greg Lucky. The color instructions
All right, we're back here getting set for the second half of play here between Haslett and Gaylord. The Vikings lead 28-10 going into the second half here. And they've been playing very, very strong football on the ground, being able to run the ball with Barnhart a lot. Jack, do you expect Haslett to change anything up here tonight?
Not really. If they stick to their strong running game and just keep forcing it at them, I think they'll do pretty well. They'll pick up some big runs and hopefully put some more points on the board.
Well, the Viking defense has been playing very well tonight. Both Gaylord scores have actually come off of turnovers deep in Haslett territory, and the defense cannot be expected really to respond perfectly to those, but they forced Gaylord to a field goal on one occasion and did allow a touchdown on the other, but the defense can't really be held accountable for that.
Right. Another big key for the Vikings' success in the second half is they have to watch the fumbles and the penalties. That's really helped out Gaylord in their game, and we just got to watch what we're doing and stay focused on the game.
Well, the Vikings are going to kick off to Gaylord here, getting things set up. Danhoff's kick, low and driving, will be taken by number 21, Brad McKay. Up off the right sideline. Runs out of bounds somewhere around the 35-yard line. Keys for the Gaylord offense, Jack?
Stick to the air. I think that's the only thing that's going to work for them. They've had no success running the ball, and the passing game so far has worked out pretty well for them.
First down, the ball actually at about the 31-yard line. That's where Gaylord will go to work here. Twins to the left, I formation. And they're going to look to go to the option play. McKay on the outside is going to find no room there as he is wrapped up and taken for a ride by number 21, Mark Trotter.
Great tackle by Trotter. Slammed him right to the ground. Give him no running room.
The Vikings will move him back a few yards. It's going to bring up a second down, about 15 yards to go. We've got three wide receivers here in an I formation. Twins to the left and one split right. And Gaylord is going to go on the option again, and McKay has got nowhere to go as he's going to be run out of bounds there by Logan Barnhart.
Nice play to force him to the outside.
Gaylord offense not looking too powerful coming out here for this first possession, Jack.
Yeah, they're really not. You'd think they come out a little more motivated after a big pep talk by the coach, but they're just doing the same thing, and it's not working for them.
So the Vikings have moved them back to third and about 19 yards to go.
Yeah, it's a lot to pick up and one down here. I don't think it's going to happen.
Taylor is going to probably elect to go to the air here, and he's just going to take a straight drop and throw it up deep. And Cahill fell down, and they're not going to call interference there, as the pass is intended to number 24, Luke Traylor. He may have been able to get there, but was tripped up when Cahill fell down. So it's going to bring up a fourth down, and Gaylord will go 3 and out and be forced to punt here.
Got Alex Williams back. I wonder what they're going to do on the punt. They've tried a couple pooches, and it's just they're trying to keep away from Williams because we got great speed.
High punt. Williams calls for a fair catch at midfield. Gets it without a problem. So the Vikings will take over at their own 49-yard line. Great spot to start out the second half.
It really is. I think we'll probably try a few running plays, get in great scoring position.
I wouldn't be surprised here just to watch Haslett start to roll over Gaylord here in the second half, just to really have that offense turn into a machine and pump out about 4 yards every down on the ground.
Yeah, they'll really get into a groove. I bet that's what'll happen.
Same wing tee format here. And Shively's going to give it to Eric on that sweep off the right-hand side. He's got room and is taken down from behind after a gain of about 5 yards.
Tackled by Tim Prater, number 84 for Gaylord.
So second down, 5 yards to go for the Vikings here as they break out of the huddle. Here's another look at that.
So Eric goes to the outside, just gets tangled up with his own blockers.
We had an official timeout there for a moment. Everything then appears to be all right.
Some confusion on the Gaylord line.
Yeah, trying to get that nose guard set. There's the handoff to Shepard off the left-hand side. He's going to have to use his speed, and he does. He'll get to the marker. First down, Haslett. Good run there by Shepard.
Yeah, great run by Shepard. Tripped up by Jason Moyer. Looks like he's down. He's shaking up on the play. He's holding his arm.
But luckily for Moyer, he's right over there by his sideline where he can be helped out. Down there, I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with him. He is moving. It's always something that you have to worry about in football is injuries, but especially neck injuries and paralysis. So
yeah,
he is moving his legs down there, but no real signs of life other than that. We've got training staffs from both sides out there checking on him.
Yeah, he dove at Shepard and looked, he might have been stepped on or landed on his arm kind of funny. He had to dive at an awkward angle to knock him out of bounds.
Injuries were really something that plagued the Haslett team last year. They had about 4 or 5 guys out for the season with knee injuries and arm and shoulder injuries as well. And
yeah, they've been lucky this year not to been as unfortunate as they were in past seasons.
they have a couple this year. You know, Jeff Thalen out with his collarbone, and Chris Boyce out with that break in his arm. But other than that, the Vikings have pretty much stayed healthy so far this year. Obviously, Shibley was out for a little while. The Haslett trainers have left, and Moyer remains down on the field. So there's a look at Dr. Joseph Kozlowski jogging back to the sideline. And let's see what's going on here.
Here's a replay on the on Shepard's run. See what happened to Moyer. Yeah, it looks like he landed on his left arm. He might have twisted it or hurt his wrist. Looks like he's in some bit of pain. He's shaking his legs quite a bit.
Staying down there on the sideline and not exactly sure what's wrong. Well, the Vikings here are going to march over and have a little conversation with their coaches, as Gaylord's going to do the same over here, as we wait and wonder of what's going to happen to Moyer there on the far sideline. Well, the clock reads 9:57 remaining here in the third quarter.
Haslett up 28-10.
And once the issue is resolved, they will have the ball with a first down. But I've got to wonder, and a lot of concern on a lot of faces in the crowd right now, Mr. Moyer on the far sideline.
Yeah, the whole Gaylord fan section, they're focused on the injury on the field. It quieted down quite a bit.
Got to wonder what happens. There's football, obviously, a very, very violent game, but can't tell what's really wrong with him.
Well, by looking at the replay, I don't think it'll be too serious. It looks like an injury to his arm. You know, luckily it's nothing that had to do with his neck or his back.
I still can't get a clear shot even with binoculars here. The trainer is appearing to be lunged over looking at the upper half of his body. Wouldn't be surprised to see a stretcher and maybe an ambulance in this situation. He remains down on the far sideline. Scary moment here at Haslett.
Many concerned teammates kneeling around, giving him support. See number 56, Dustin Miller, and number 84, Tim Prater, just talking to him.
As you can see, a lot of the players down on one knee.
Yeah, all very concerned for their teammate.
It's not an easy moment for a team to lose a player, no matter how much the player plays or how big a part of the team they are. When one teammate goes down, the entire team gets concerned. I mean, it's a very important thing and very serious as well.
Right. The Vikings going to have to, maintain their ability to play strong here, because the Gaylord team might get fired up after this injury. They might want to come back and show them what they can do.
Still a lot of concern. I'm not sure if we've got a stretcher over there yet or not. Haslett team stretching out, trying to keep loose for whatever's ahead.
Don't see an ambulance or stretcher coming out right now. Still a lot of attention being given to Moyer, his coaches and teammates. So look at the Viking sideline, talking to Coach Rob Port.
And the Vikings gonna discuss maybe a little bit of strategy here going in on defense and what to do for the rest of this game, but not exactly sure how long this delay is going to take. Obviously, something very serious has happened, and not really sure.
They're bringing the golf cart out to the far side of the field.
Yeah, you can only assume that he's going to be ridden off the field. I unfortunately had the pleasure of being golf carted off the field last year.
Remember
in the
that?
DeWitt game. Not really the most pleasant thing in the world, and neither were the DeWitt fans. But
I'm sure Jason Moore is feeling the same thing right now. It's a hard thing being so far away from home and having an injury like this.
not sure if we're going to be able to get word down onto the field, but they do have the stretcher out and ready to go.
Still a lot of attention being given to Moyer on the field. His condition looks like he's remained the same so far. Got a blanket on his legs to keep him warm.
We've got police officers going over there now. Although police officers in Meridian Township are trained in fire safety as well as being medics. So.
Right, I'm sure they'll give some assistance to the trainers.
We have a car that needs to be moved immediately. We need to be able to get an ambulance.
Oh,
The
so.
car license number is
Announcement over the stand saying that there's a vehicle in the way of the ambulance.
It's a white Cougar.
Well, they're being, one of the fans here tonight is being asked to have their car moved immediately because they're going to bring the ambulance onto the field. And the ambulance is here and trying to get down onto the field, but unable to do so because of the car blocking its path.
Viking players also very concerned for their opponent, focused on the other bench.
It'd be very hard if you're on either side of the ball, really, to get focused and get ready to go if one of the players on the field gets carted off in an ambulance.
Yeah, it really has. It's, especially with the long delay like this. Let's look at Nick Scheibele and Peter Ehrig discussing what they have to do.
No word yet on if the car has been moved. As far as the game goes, Jack, when we return to play, I wouldn't be surprised just to see Haslett continue their offensive domination and kind of push Gaylord around the field. Really, their defense isn't much match for Shepard, Barnhart, and Eric. And the Viking offense will no doubt be taking over this game when it resumes.
Yeah, they I'm sure they'll break it open. I bet they'll get a few long runs.
All right, well, we're going to go down to Brian Town, the director here at TV 25. He's going to be our field correspondent here, and he's got an update on the injury. Brian? Brian.
I talked to Coach Culp just a few minutes ago, and I guess that it's not really that serious. They said it's just a burner, a little stinger on his shoulder, maybe a little bit on his neck, but they're not going to take any chances with this kid. And they're going to get the ambulances out here, and they're going to take him into the hospital and get x-rays on him. We don't know how serious it is, but we do know that they don't want to take any chances. We can all hope that he is okay. Like I said, they don't know how serious it is. But again, they don't want to take any chances, and they are going to bring the ambulance out and take him into the hospital. Back to you, Evan.
All right, thank you, Brian, down there for that update. And of course, when you do get spinal injuries of any sort, you never really want to move the victim, risk any chance of having any vertebrae being displaced or jarred around at all. And it's a good thing to take the precaution here.
Right.
And
sure they'll
still waiting for the ambulance to come down onto the field. Should be down here fairly soon. One thing that is going on right now is this late October weather has really started to make things cold here.
Yeah, it's going to be important for the players on both sides is to keep moving and keep their legs warm.
Trying to keep warm on a night like this isn't an easy thing to do. A lot of the fans are bundled up tonight in coats and sweatshirts and whatnot.
See on the back of Nick Shively, he's got a hand warmer. Between plays, he sticks his hands there. He's keep him warmed up, get a good feel on the ball.
Still waiting for the paramedics, and hopefully that car has finally been moved, but I'm not sure. Up, here it comes. And it looks like it's going to drive right down in that gate and onto the field.
Very important for them to secure Moyer's neck just in case there is a problem.
Going to be very hard to move him onto that stretcher very effectively. Going to have to be careful and make sure his body doesn't move too much. Just lifted pretty much straight upwards just to get on that stretcher board to get him in there. And I'm sure they'll strap him down nice and tight.
Exactly.
All right, well, we're going to go back down to our correspondent, Brian Town, down there. He is with the Haslett band director, James McCaffrey. So we're going to go back down to Brian. Brian?
Well, Evan, I'm down here with Jim McCaffrey. Looks like the ambulance has just pulled up, and they're going to take him out and get an x-ray. We hope he's okay. But here I'm with Mr. Jim McCaffrey, band director, new band director for Haslett High School. So far, how's the band season going? I know you performed really well at the festival and you got ones. Other than that, how's everything else going here?
It's great. It was a great introduction to Haslett because those first two games here were just big games, you know, DeWitt and Fowlerville homecoming. So what a baptism, so to speak, to Haslett. But those went real well. Got pumped, you know, the blood pumping, and actually the band's done a great job this whole year. I'm really proud of them.
I know you had camp in the summertime to prepare for, I guess, the season now. What do you have to do to prepare for each game? Is there something different that you do? What goes through on a daily basis? And I know you teach at the middle school and the high school. But what do you do to prepare this band to come out and perform tonight like they did at halftime?
Well, basically what we do is go out on our practice field every morning. People probably hear us practicing out there, and we work on our show. Basically, our show is more for a festival than it is for halftime. Sometimes we add some tunes like this. For pregame today, we did a Halloween tune, that type of thing. But usually we just keep working on our show that we present, not only at festival, but like last week we went to Grand Ledge, and the kids did a great job there too.
Well, the band's doing really well this year. You got ones, the band sounds great. What do you do next? I mean, how do you take the band from level 1 now to level 1.5 or level, I don't know how you go, but how do you take the band to the next step?
Well, you just keep working music, first of all. That's the most important. Trying to work on fundamentals of music, just like athletes work on their fundamentals of, and you know, like lifting weights, that type of thing. Our fundamentals, playing scales, going through as much music as possible. Monday, we start in our concert season, and we do have 2 bands, wind ensemble and symphony band, and that's where we do a lot of those fundamentals and that type of thing there.
Everything works out well here, and many people know that we may play Sturgis. It is a big deal for us, but I understand it might be even more big a deal for you. Why is that?
I probably could be the most valuable person around because I know that the people there pretty well. That's because I taught there for 10 years, and I'm really looking forward to that. If we do, I'd like maybe they have to combine the bands and at a halftime do one number together, that type of thing. We'll see what happens, but it should be pretty exciting. They really support their football team just like Haslett does here, and this place will be rocking. So hopefully that'll happen.
Congratulations on your new season. Thanks for coming to talk with us.
Thank you very much.
Well, Evan, back to you.
All right, back up here in the booth. The ambulance has come down onto the field, and they're getting ready to move the player into the ambulance.
The paramedics have got the stretcher out. They're securing him. Probably have a neck brace on him by now.
Moyer should be moved into the ambulance momentarily. And, of course, what Mr. Ton was talking to Mr. McCaffrey about is once a team reaches the playoffs, it's not an easy thing to do to get film of the different games that your opponents have played in. It's not easy to be able to study their schemes and stuff without film, obviously. And if the Vikings do end up playing Sturgis, or actually whoever they play, gathering film for them is not going to be quite as simple as it would be for getting film for a league opponent. And
right, that's going to be a big thing for the Vikings. It's a lot of the stuff they're just going to have to play it by heart. They're going to, try to read the play on the field and just call it from there.
Haslett's been playing very well to start out the second half before we had this injury to Moyer on the far sideline. And in case you're just joining us, we had a run by Steve Shepard out to the outside, and Shepard had hit the corner and was turning on the jets when he was hit by Jason Moyer, who dove in on the play, and Moyer's neck was jarred by Shepard's knee, and he was injured, and he's remained down on the field now for, I'd say, at least a good 20 minutes.
Oh, anyway, yeah.
As we're waiting for the ambulance here to take him off the field. It looks like they're getting ready to set him on the board. Can't quite see. There's quite a crowd over there of officials, coaches, and players. And
yeah, they looks like the paramedics and the police officers are just getting ready to slide him onto the board. He's still moving his feet, which is a good sign.
Okay, we're going back down to Mr. Town here, who's got Superintendent Regan with him right now.
Hey, Evan, I'm here with Superintendent Bob Regan. Mr. Regan, what has the football team's really been doing a good job this year, and the whole school district, and I think the whole school district and the high school has been really pumped. What have you seen among the administrators? What have you been hearing from some of the teachers and the staff and even the students about this good season this year?
Well, we're very proud of our football team. They've certainly had a great season, and it appears, while there's still a little bit left to play, that we're going to have our first undefeated season in something like 17 years. But it certainly has lifted up the whole school program. I said we're proud of our football team, but we're proud of our fans. Week after week, we've had just record crowds at our football games, and I think it's a community event. And I think it's been good for the total school program, the band, the fans, the cheerleaders, and certainly the community. So it's been just an uplifting start of the school year, and it's just been wonderful.
Coach Otluski has said over and over again how the support comes from the community. I mean, you go get your hair cut, and everybody in there is talking about how good the football team's doing. He's also said that administration and staff provides a lot of support for the football team. How do you see that happening, and what do you do to provide that support?
Well, we try to support all of our school programs. It's just not about football, although, this is what everybody's come for tonight. But it is a community kind of program. It's community education at its best. And so certainly we support our football program, but we support our art program and our band program, Channel 25, and you know, we've got kids involved in so many programs. There's so many opportunities for the young people here in Haslett, and we're very proud to support all of the educational programs.
Good. Well, thanks for spending time with us.
Thanks, Brian.
See ya.
Keep up the good work.
Good. Well, back to you, Evan.
All right, back up here in the booth while Mr. Town was communicating with the superintendent. We were able to dig up some playoff knowledge from former Haslett football coach Mr. Kohler. Apparently, the state mandates that when a team reaches the playoffs, they are required to send each other their 2 last films from their 2 previous games, so each team has an equal opportunity to prepare for the other one. Also, I was not aware of this, but Coach Otluski has sent 4 scouting groups out to scout all the possible opponents that Haslett could have in the next 3 weeks in the playoffs. So this is a step that Coach Otluski's been ready for and has prepared very well for. So no matter who the Vikings end up playing next week, they'll be sure to be ready for them.
Yeah, I think after finding this out, after the Vikings, make their lead a little bit bigger, they might mix the plays up just to give their next opponent in the playoffs a different feeling of what's going to come.
Well, the Gaylord team's starting to stretch out a little more here, but the player still has not been removed from the ground into the ambulance.
He's still lying still. I can't quite see if they have the board under him yet. Oh, they do have the board under him.
And they're preparing to lift him now. Got to make sure he's ready to go.
Be very careful not to move him too much.
Very delicate thing here. Just precautions must be taken. All right, well, it appears our correspondent, Mr. Brian Town, has come up with more information on the injury, and we're going to go down to him now. Brian, what have you got for us down there?
Thanks, Evan. I just wanted to let you know that we've got an update, and it is confirmed that it is a stinger, whatever stinger may be, but it is just a stinger, and they said that that's the second time it's happened this week to the same player. They're going to take him to an orthopedic surgeon right now, and they do have the board underneath him. Still, we don't know how serious it is. He is on the stretcher. It must be serious enough where they want to take him in to see a doctor. That's about all we have right now. If we find anything else, we'll let you know, Evan. Back to you.
All right, well, they're getting ready to bring Moyer into the ambulance with much applause from the crowd. Now, for those not familiar with football terms, a stinger is what happens when a player's shoulder collides incorrectly with another player, or their neck is moved. And what happens is they get very sharp pains in their entire side of the body, from the nape of the neck all the way down to whichever side to the end of the shoulder the stinger's on. So if it's on the left side, it's going to travel down from about your hairline on that side of the neck all the way down through your shoulder. It is not a very pleasant feeling to have, and sometimes they just happen, and sometimes they're more serious than others. And obviously that one was not a regular stinger, and Moyer had some previous problems with that, and it's a good thing they got him taken care of, and I guess he's just going to go to an orthoped right now and see what he can do for it.
So loaded up on the ambulance right now.
Both teams on the field getting ready to go as the ambulance is getting ready to take off.
Hopefully nothing serious will come out of the injury here. Be able to walk out of this with nothing permanent.
The Vikings will have the ball, first down and 10 from the 37-yard line of Gaylord when we resume play here, with 9:57 remaining, third quarter. Still waiting for the ambulance to be moved. Both teams are on the field and getting ready to go.
Looks like Moyer's mother has entered the ambulance to keep him company and give him support on the way to the hospital.
Not an easy thing to have happen as the player or the parent when a serious injury like this occurs.
Right, the parents be very worried, and being in a faraway place like this, 3 hours from home, can't help at all either.
It's a good thing that Moyer's mother showed up tonight, though.
Yeah.
And made that trip.
Yeah, that would comfort him a lot.
Because at a time like this, player needs support. The ambulance is in motion now. right. Well, the ambulance is now leaving the field, and we are going to resume play here after about a half hour to 45-minute delay, and the Vikings look ready to go.
9:51 left to go in the third quarter.
Wing left, 2 backs in the backfield for Shively. He's going to hand it to Shepard. Shepard on the reverse to Ehrig. Ehrig cuts it up the middle. Ehrig to the 25, inside the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Peter Ehrig and the Vikings. So the first play after that injury, and the Vikings leave Gaylord shell-shocked as they go down to score another touchdown. And if Danhoff adds the extra point, the Vikings will be up 35-10. Here's another look.
Watch Ehrig as he cuts through. He keeps his eyes up, and just as long as he keeps moving forward, you can't bring him down. He gets through 3 or 4 tackles, goes right into the end zone. No problem.
Great spin move there by Ehrig, showing his strength in his running. Saltzgaber puts the high snap down. Danhoff puts the kick in. The Vikings 35, Gaylord 10. So Haslett getting the ball, and right after that long break from the injury, and punch it right on in.
Shows that Haslett still ready to go. The delay didn't take anything out of their game. Still raring and ready.
Haslett starting to play very good football here tonight. Right when the second half started, they looked like they were ready to go, making Gaylord go 3 and out, and then retrieving the ball again and scoring right away.
Haslett set to kick. Number 21, Brad McKay deep, along with.
And the kick is going to go short, and it's going to be jumped on by one of the up men. Looks like Chad Taylor is the one who's going to end up jumping on that ball. They didn't want to take any chances trying to pick it up, and his team's going to have it at about the 27-yard line. It's going to be first down for Gaylord.
Be very important for the Vikings to contain Gaylord on the series, just to maintain momentum and keep going through the rest of the game.
Gaylord with that I formation, wing right, split left. And the handoff actually going up the middle with number 41, that's Mike Casey, and he moves the ball good 9 or 10 yards.
21, Mark Trotter in on the tackle, tied up his legs, and brought him down.
And the officials taking a look now and going to say it's officially second down. Second down, less than a yard for Gaylord. Split left, wing right, I formation backfield. And there's the handoff off the right side. He's brought down from behind by number 55, Brandon Harden.
Great play by Harden to penetrate the line, get through there, and make the tackle.
That's going to bring Gaylord back a good yard or two. And it's going to be third and about 2 yards. So instead of, if he would have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage, Gaylord would be able to just quarterback sneak it for this first down. But Harden's made things a lot more difficult, sending them backwards on that play.
Right, that definitely hurts him right now.
He's got a wing left, I formation, double tight end for Gaylord. And he's going to keep the ball here, Taylor is. Cuts it back up, looking to run, and it's fumbled and recovered by the Vikings. Harden's going to grab the ball, and it'll be first down, Haslett inside the 40-yard line of Gaylord.
Wayne Butler set that whole play up by making the strong hit, knocked the ball right out of his hands.
Great play for Haslett defense, and now giving the offense a chance to try to put some more points on the board. Ball's at the 36-yard line, first down and 10 for Haslett. Gaylord's going to really need to start stepping things up here on defense, but the Vikings looking to go with a passing package here. Ehrig split right and Barnhart left. Shepard the lone back. And Shively had time and he fumbles. And the ball still may be loose. I think Gaylord may have it. They do. And Shively needed to move in the pocket, move up a little bit more. So
yeah, they just got a piece of him.
The turnover gods giveth and the turnover gods taketh away, as the Vikings have turned the ball back over to Gaylord here, and they'll now have a fresh set of downs at about their 39-yard line.
Here's a look at Shively getting hit from behind. Just got the hand on the ball.
It's a good play there by Kevin Corbin to wrap around and knock the ball out of Shively's hand. Oh, Gaylord now double tight end set with that wing right eye formation, and they're going to give it around the left side, and he's got room. Number 40, Scott Parole.
Knocked out of bounds by number 21, Mark Schroeder.
Picks up some good yardage there on the play. Moves it out to about the 47, where it's going to bring up second down.
Vikings got to start playing defense here. They got to stop the run.
Gaylord continuing with that I formation and the wing to the left. Taylor fakes the handoff, rolls to his right. Butler in his face, eludes one man. Mulholland hits him from behind, throws a pass intended for Mike Casey, but it was dropped. And that's going to bring up a third down here. Great pressure there by the Vikes.
Yeah, excellent pressure. They forced him to fake, and he couldn't get the pass off in time before being hit by Mulholland.
Third and short for Gaylord. Dave Taylor comes out into the huddle, giving his mates the call. They're going to stick with that eye. That's what they've been in pretty much all night. And the handoff's going to be right up the middle. Stocker had his hands on him, Mike Casey, but was unable to bring him backwards. And from where they're spotting it, it appears to be fourth down. And the Vikings able to hang on.
Looks like it's just short.
So Haslett's going to have to really step it up here on defense to be sure that Gaylord can't get this first down.
Watch the quarterback sneak.
High formation with his wing to the right, as the handoff is going to go up to number 21, Brad McKay. And it looks like he had enough for the first down. The Vikings signaling the other way, but from the spot, they're going to give it to him.
Yeah, looks like he just got over.
Oh, we got an official timeout for measurement.
Chain gang comes out on the field just to check.
And looking here, and he's got it by a half of a football. Gaylord moves the chains here. 6:14 remaining in the third quarter. Vikings on top 35-10. Taylor with a fresh set of downs, still trying to move the ball. The Gaylord offense has not been doing that well so far in the second half. They've kind of run out of tricks, and the Vikings really starting to control them a lot better. But there's the handoff to 21, Brad McKay again. He finds a little bit of room up there. It picks up about 2 or 3 yards.
On the play was 51 Jim Mulholland, and made great tackles. Came up from behind him. Didn't even see him coming.
It's going to bring up a second down, about 8 yards to go. Gaylord going back to split left, split right, I formation. Maybe going to be going back to the air here in this situation. Taylor is going to throw, and his man wasn't even looking at the ball. It's going to bring up third down. What did you think of that call, Jack?
Fairly good call. It's just, you know, the receiver's got to be on his toes. As attended to Scott Furrow, just wasn't watching the ball.
As a receiver, you always got to be wary and always think the ball may be coming to you and keep paying attention. Didn't happen there. And as a result, Gaylord's got a long 8 yards to make here on this play for a first down. Little confusion on the line. Just going to drop back and throw. Taylor over there far. He's got his man. It's complete to number 22, Chad Steele. First down, Gaylord going back to the air.
Nice pass. Cahill, I think he lost the ball in the lights. He had turned around and he just couldn't pick it out.
Yeah, Cahill was with him. Maybe lost the stride there as Steele was able to come back for the ball. Pretty decently thrown ball there by Dave Taylor.
Just another look on the pass. Cahill, he just didn't see it coming.
Rolling right, Taylor looking for another pass, and it is completed to Steele again on the right-hand side, and he picks up some good yardage as Gaylord's starting to move the ball deep into Haslett territory.
Yeah, they're going to have to pick up the coverage. They're giving them a little bit too much breathing room, leaving it up to the safeties to make the tackles. They just got to step up.
The clock continues to roll after the Gaylord first down. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining, third quarter. Taylor drops back to throw. Going end zone. Broken up by Cahill. Nice play there by Nathan, but there is a flag.
So
and I think they're going to call the interference on Cahill there. We'll see if this is going to be offensive or defensive pass interference, but actually, no, they're going to call holding on Cahill. And so that is going to bring Gaylord down inside the Haslett 10-yard line.
Hey, Cahill just had his hand on him. Wasn't too much of a hold, but ref had to make the call.
Let's see where the ball is going to be spotted now after the penalty.
Most of the Haslett players looking towards the sideline.
Now, a touchdown here from Gaylord does not really exclude them from coming back in this game. Still very highly unlikely, but 35-17, not an insurmountable margin with a full quarter left to play. And although, however unlikely it is, a touchdown here may put Gaylord in position to start getting some more things going. And Porritt yelling from the sideline as Taylor's going to throw it again, and this time it goes into the dirt.
There wasn't much of a pass. He didn't use his time wisely. Kind of rushed the play.
Looked like he did throw it far too early there.
Going back to the Gaylord touchdown, if they do score, it'll swing the momentum a little bit, and Gaylord will get fired up and come back a little bit harder on the next series, I think.
Second down for Gaylord from the Haslett 8-yard line. Taylor's going to throw it again. They continue to go to the air. This one's in the corner. Caught. Touchdown, Gaylord. And the Gaylord crowd erupts there.
Haslett's really struggling with their pass defense. They march right down the field.
Haslett has not faced a team that's thrown this much on them the entire year, and they've been having trouble adjusting to it as Gaylord's put 17 points on the board here tonight.
Yeah, it's really kind of a surprise. They weren't expecting this, I don't think.
Gaylord coming into tonight's game with a 4-4 record, a Class A school, very respectable. Not a fabulous football team, but not really expecting the Viking defense to have this much trouble with them, especially just in the air alone. And here's another look at that touchdown. A perfectly placed ball there. Barnhart really played it well, but was just unable to get it on when he went up to swat for the ball.
Yeah, right to the corner. Nice pass.
So Haslett's going to get the ball back late in the third quarter. Gaylord still in the huddle on the far sideline. And you got to wonder how much time the officials are going to give them.
Has the players getting a little bit antsy, waiting for maybe for Gaylord to come out in the field. Broke the huddle now.
Gaylord all set to go here, ready to kick from the 40-yard line. And the kick is low and towards that sideline again. That's what he's been doing all night long. And that's just going to give Haslett the ball at the 35-yard line.
Just keeping it away from Barnhart and Eric in the backfield. Don't want them to pick up the ball.
Not a bad idea, but to have your opponent start at the 35 every time isn't really dangerous, but sometimes you could pin them back farther, but I guess it's not worth the risk with Eric and Barnhart back there to catch the ball.
It's better to put them up 15 yards from the 20 than to let them go all the way down the field, as these two guys often do.
Wing right, pro formation backfield for Haslett. Shively handed the ball off to Eric, and he is going to be wrapped up there on the right corner there as he tried to get around on the sweep. No such luck there, not a lot of room.
Yeah. He had the outside, he just got wrapped up. Not much room to go, not much blocking.
Ball is going to be spotted at the 39-yard line, or excuse me, the 36-yard line. As the clock runs down inside of 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Shepard, wing right. Shively, dropping back to throw. He's going to take off running now and is knocked down over there on the far sideline.
Number 74, Kyle Stubel on the play, along with number 81, Kevin Corbin. Not much room for Shively. Was looking to pass, couldn't find any open receivers. Had to go.
The Viking offense appears that they possibly have lost that flair that they had earlier in the second half. The last thing they want to do is give the ball right back to Gaylord.
Yeah, they really got to watch that right now.
Shively. Calling a long cadence, and the give is to Barnhart, and he's got room off the right-hand side, and he will string it out for a good gain of about 21 yards there.
Nice run, broke through, brought down by number 21, Brad McKay. Almost got around him.
Logan had a lot of daylight on the right sideline. First down and 10 for the Vikings inside the 45 of Gaylord. Wing right is Eric. Goes in motion to the left. Shively just going to give it up the middle with Shepard. He's going to pick up about 2.5, 3 yards on the carry.
It's really critical for the Vikings right now to keep moving it forward, get 3 or 4 yards each run, just to keep them moving downfield.
Vikings offensively have been playing better football in the second half than they did in the first.
They really have.
This is only the second time they've had the ball, though. And Barnhart is tripped up as he was giving the ball straight up the middle and was hit low and early. pick up maybe a yard on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd down, 7 yards to go.
Dustin Miller in on the play. He's also the punter, or excuse me, place kicker.
Basic wing T formation. Shively looks around. And he's going to give it to Eric on the right-hand side. Eric busts loose, continues to run very hard, and he's got the 1st down. What a run by Peter Eric. Fantastic effort there, keeping those legs moving, and it should be plenty for the Viking 1st down, and it is.
Once Eric gets ahead of steam, he's just a train. He keeps those legs pumping, and people just can't hold him down.
We always talk about how hard it is to bring down Steve Shepard, and it is. But Peter Eric has really developed his power game, and he's got great speed and also quite a load to bring down.
Should have shown that tonight.
He's wing left. And Shively is going to move off to the left, and he's upended. No room there.
Number 22, Chad Steele.
Chad Steele on the play for Gaylord.
Battle on the quarterback. 2nd down, loss of a yard and a half.
Here's Peter's run. Just watch him break the tackles. He picks up the ball and he just keeps his legs moving forward. Just can't take him down. Takes 3 guys.
Vikings now with Eric split out to the left. Shively under center. Gonna throw, short pass to Smith, and it's batted back into his face.
Number 84, Tim Prater on the play. He's got the arms up on him. Shively didn't even see him.
It's gonna bring up a 3rd down and long for the Vikings. Inside of 10 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. Vikings on a big 3rd down play. And Brandon Harden jumped offside. That's going to make it even more difficult to get the 1st down now.
Moving back 5 yards. Another mental mistake by the Vikings.
Can't afford all the penalties that the Vikings have had so far today.
Yeah, they really got to control themselves again.
So Haslett gets moved back 5 more yards, and they've got a 3rd down, 17 to go. Shively gives it up the middle to Barnhart. He's got daylight off the right-hand side. 15, 10, 5, touchdown. What a play by Barnhart as he just exploded off the right side of the line.
Excellent run.
And that's going to bring Haslett up 41-17 now.
Shows that breakaway speed. Got a few blocks and he's gone.
What an offensive show for the Vikings tonight. We're just ending the 3rd quarter here, and they've already put 6 touchdowns on the board.
Well, it really has been. It's been great. They just keep going. They've got so many fast guys. It's unbelievable.
Saltz gave her to hold. Good snap. And Dan Hoff put it through. He's made every one so far tonight.
A nice kick. Not too much pressure. Just put it through.
So that will end the 3rd quarter of play here from Haslett, with the Vikings on top 42-17. Still 1 quarter left to play here. Vikings have been offensively dominating Gaylord, but the surprising thing has been Gaylord's passing game that has just really been tearing up the Viking defensive backfield pretty good.
Yeah, it really has. A lot of pressure. Just keep it coming.
So Gaylord will go back to receive the ball to start out the 4th quarter here. This game has run extremely long due to not only Gaylord passing the ball a lot, and whenever you pass the ball and you have an incomplete pass, the clock stops, but the biggest reason was very scary actually earlier when Jason Moyer went down with a neck injury on the far sideline and had to be carted off on the ambulance.
Yeah, it's really extended the game time, at least another 40 minutes or so.
There's Dan Hoff's kick, deep on the right-hand side. It's going to be taken by 24, Luke Traylor. He'll bring it out across the 35-yard line.
Number 25, Chris Boyce on the play, playing with that broken arm. Nice tackle for such an injury.
Yeah, Boyce's cast only going up to about his elbow, and with padding, he's able to play.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
There'll be a split left, split right for Gaylord in the I formation. They'll more than likely be going to the air. That's when they've been beating the Vikings so far tonight. And they do. And the pass was thrown just at a wide receiver screen to Chad Steele, and the ball was knocked up in the air, and it was could have been intercepted by Cahill, but I don't think he knew that the ball was right there as Cahill went in to hit Steele.
Yeah, Steele's really got to focus on a play like that. I think he just heard the footsteps and looked to see who was coming before catching the ball.
Got to make sure you catch the ball before you start running with it. And that's going to bring up a 2nd down 10 for Gaylord. Dropping back to throw, Taylor. He's going to go deep, and the receiver is knocked down. He bumped into Cahill. Good job by the officials not to call that. That was definitely the fault of Chad Steele as he bumped right into Nathan. And now we've got an injured Viking on the field and all kinds of people running out. I'm not sure who it is. Is that Jimmy?
That's us.
That's
our guy down.
it's like Stefan Gliwa.
No. Yeah, I believe you may be right. I'm not sure. For some reason, I thought it could have been Mulholland.
Looks all right. I think he just lost his wind.
No, it wasn't Mulholland. It was number 56, Stu Gliwa.
Stewie's just shaking up on the play there. I think he probably got the wind knocked out of him. Nothing serious.
So Gaylord will have the ball, 3rd down, 10 yards to go. Staying with that I formation. Taylor looking to throw again. Rolls to his left, throws incomplete. Off one hop, and gotta wonder if Gaylord's gonna start punting the ball here or if they're just gonna decide to go for it. But with the substitutions coming in, I'm assuming they're gonna punt the ball. Alex Williams will be back to receive. Returned one very nicely earlier, made something out of nothing before getting knocked down very hard by Jason Moyer. And then Williams fumbled one later in the game, but he's still back there receiving for the Vikings.
Yeah, if he gets a chance, he'll really pull off something big. He showed potential for that earlier.
It's a nice punt. It's going to send him back inside his 30 to about the 25 where he takes a fair catch. That's where the Vikings will go to work.
Have a nice grab by Williams. He's stumbling a little bit, and with the man right in his face, it's a good thing he held on.
Botlewski's going to leave that first offense in here, and I tend to agree with him on that. You need to get another score before you send the second teamers out there. Some good sounds being provided from the Haslett band here tonight. A little Luai Luai.
Always a classic at a football game.
The only change is that quarterback Pat Saltzgaber has come in now, but he hands it to Barnhart, and he's got a lot of room, and he's going to beat his man down the left sideline. Barnhart 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Great run by Barnhart.
And the Vikings have really opened things up now. They're going to go up 49-17, and Logan Barnhart now has easily elapsed 200 yards on the night.
Yeah, he beat number 21, Brad McKay, up the sideline, and he's no slow guy either. It takes a lot of speed to go that far.
Logan must be getting exhausted here as he has just been the workhorse tonight for the Vikings. He's gotten a lot of the yards, bursting many runs for
excellent run.
Lots of yardage. A lot of the tough yards have been gained by Shepard, and Eric has had some success too.
Yeah, everyone's contributing on this Viking team.
Just to let you know that the mercy rule in high school football only goes in effect in the second half when a team is up by 35. Currently, the Vikings lead 49-17, but that's not going to be enough because they have to be leading by 35 points to get that continuous running clock. So they'll have to have another score before the clock will run continuously.
Haslett really doing a great job of keeping the pressure on. They running up the score, showing that they are a big-time school. So get a lot of momentum and publicity going into playoffs.
You can be assured that Haslett will be ready to play next week.
Definitely.
As if the second half of this game is any indication of that, excuse me, then the Vikings should be more than ready to go for their first playoff appearance in years. Only the second playoff appearance in Haslett High School history. Here's Dan Hoff to kick. Kicks it far, and it takes a nice roll. Oh, what a hit by Nathan Cahill, but he hurt his arm there. And
number 24, Luke Traylor, is shaking up on the play.
And Cahill is going to be holding his shoulder there as he just leveled Traylor on that play. Just look at Barnhart and Cahill as he walks in,
shaking
rolling
that,
that arm. It appears that he's all right.
Yeah, quite a big hit. Traylor wasn't expecting that one here.
Yeah, Cahill came out of nowhere and just leveled him. Here's another look at that.
24, Luke Traylor picks up the ball.
And the play right there is going to be pass interference on number 60, Nick Babcock, as he went to try to pick up 24, Luke Traylor, and pushed him down. That'll be a 15-yard penalty, an automatic first down for Gaylord.
Yeah, Babcock thought he had caught the ball, so he just made a tackle on him. It just gone over his hands. Let's look at number 33, Logan Barnhart. 200+ yards in the game tonight.
First down and 10 for Gaylord. Taylor gonna throw again. It's intercepted by number 40, Ryan Walker. He's running up the left sideline. Tackle at about the 32-yard line. It's where the Vikings will take over here.
Ryan Walker's a real nose for those interceptions. He's always in right by the pass. That time he came up big.
And this is where Coach Otluski will put in the second offense, known amongst the players as the pile offense. And as we mentioned in previous games, this is not a regular second-team offense. This is very good. For a lot of other schools, this could be their first offense.
A look at Walker's interception. And right up.
Just stepped right in front, made a great play. Saltzgaber now at quarterback. And he is going to give it to 25, Chris Boyce, and he explodes off the left side. Boyce inside the 10-yard line down to about the 7 for a big Haslett first down.
Great run by Boyce, again playing with a broken arm. Very strong on the play.
Fearless running there by Boyce as he just exploded there. And the refs will run the clock. And if the Vikings can score here, they'll have the continuous clock going. The only time it stops would be for timeouts and change of possession. Saltzgaber now hands it up the middle. Not much room. Vikings push it down to the 7.
Big play here. They gotta put the ball in the end zone if they want to keep that clock going.
I'm sure the Vikings getting kind of cold out there. As the frost may be on the pumpkin tonight, with it getting so cold.
Yeah, it's really getting kind of crisp out here. It's that definite fall weather settling in.
And things will only be getting worse in terms of the weather for the Vikings as these weeks ahead will really test what the team is up to.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some snow in some of those.
Under 10 minutes to go here, fourth quarter. Saltzgaber keeps it. He's got a man behind him. He continues to run, but can't get there. And the Vikings are going to elect to kick the field goal here.
Brought down by 56, Dustin Miller. Saltzgaber didn't have much room to go, and he got brought down by behind.
Now Danhoff is going to kick this here. It's going to be off the left hash mark. And with the ball at the 8-yard line, it's going to be a 23-yard field goal. Got to take 10 yards for the end zone, 5 for where they spot it. So a 23-yard chip shot here. Have to kick it to the right. Good snap, good hold by Saltzgaber. It's up, and it sneaks in there. It's good. The Vikings go up 52-17.
Really a great kick by Danhoff. A very tough angle. Just snuck it in the inside post.
And the continuous clock now beginning to roll. And I'm going to have to correct myself. Apparently, it does not change on change of. Apparently, it does not stop on change of possession as it continues to roll here. Getting down to 8 minutes to play, fourth quarter. What a season it has been for these Haslett Vikings. After tonight, they will be 9-0 going into the playoffs. Should be hosting their next regional game.
It's really been great. I don't think anyone expected a season like this. It's just so much talent on this team. Just keep them going.
Quick change at kicker. Ryan Pavlik will be kicking off here, and all kinds of substitutions coming in on the kickoff team. Here we go. Pavlik's kick deep to the right-hand side about the 15-yard line, and they fake the reverse, but not very well. And Boyce is there to make the tackle, along with 28 Williams.
Number 40, Scott Burrell, taken down. Didn't have much room to go. Blocking didn't help him that.
All right, we're going to go back to our correspondent, Brian Town. Brian?
Evan, hey, I'm here up in the student section at Haslett High School. A bunch of fired up people here. What do you guys think about Haslett High School football? What a great night for football. Back to you, Evan.
Students very excited, as they should be, with such a wonderful team.
Fan
Great
support's
performance
really
here
helped
tonight.
the team.
Yes, it has, Jack. The support from the students and the faculty and the parents has just been excellent. And there's a run. Babcock is going to bring him down as they ran it with number 41, Mike Casey. He's He's going to bring it up to about the 29.
Mike Casey from Gaylord. Picking up 9, that'll be second and less to the yard.
Second down, about a yard to go here.
Gaylord on their own 29. Just trying to play the rest of the game out right now. I don't think they're looking to win anymore.
Got a split left, wing right eye formation for Gaylord. Fakes the pitch, hands it off to number 40, a great fake. And that's Parole, and he's gonna run to the far sideline. He cuts back. Jeff Smith can't get him, and he's gonna pull it inside the Viking 40-yard line.
It's tripped up by number 25, Chris Boyce.
And we've got an injured player on the field. He's from Gaylord, and he's rolling around. And we've had too many injuries here tonight.
It's number 74, Kyle Stubley.
Here's another look.
So run by number 40, Scott Farrell. Breaks.
That's 2 plays ago where Babcock makes the stop. So hopefully we can get our crew to get that last play down there. But the injured player for Gaylord now starting to move around. And number 74, Kyle Stubley.
Shaking up on the plates. Cold weather gets a stinging effect on any kind of hit.
So they take Stubley off the field, and Gaylord will have a first down inside the Viking 40-yard line.
Really kind of a cool name, Stubley.
It sounds kind of like a plural for stubble, you know?
Yes.
Stubley. Anyhow,
back to the game.
Getting back to the action here. Got a wing right, split left eye formation for Gaylord. And they're going to run the option here. And he's got room to the far sideline before Babcock's going to take him down with about 3 of his friends. Clock continuing to run down to 5 minutes. But if Gaylord scores here, it will stop. And
nice
the game
play.
will continue at normal pace.
Nice play by number 11, Dave Taylor, quarterback for Gaylord. He's stayed with it the whole game. It's got to be tough for him to watch his team go down like this.
He's quite an athlete, you know. He's able to run the ball quite well, and he can throw the ball excellently.
Yeah, he really is very strong.
I hate to make the comparison, but he kind of plays like Cordell Stewart. Just a very versatile quarterback.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's the same play to number 40, but this time it's not going to go anywhere because number 51, Jimmy Mulholland, was there to make the stop. Well, we're going to go back down to Brian Town, and he is amongst the cheerleaders. Brian?
Cheerleaders, they have a special cheer for us.
There's a sweep off to the right, and he's got plenty of room, and it looks like he's going to score. No. Knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line. But this continuous clock is not going to stay continuous. If Gaylord scores, about 3:30 is what's on there right now as Coach Charlie Atluski gets doused with the water. And not a good night for that.
No.
It's very, very chilly out.
It's a great season for Coach Atluski, 9-0.
Since he showed up here, he's really been
Perfect.
turning things around. And this year, more than ever, it's showing. Taylor with that same set. They're going to hand it off up the middle. No room. Jacob Kleinert was there making the stop for the Vikings.
Great try, making the tackle, moves the ball down to the 2-yard line. Second and goal.
Second down, goal to go, about the 3-yard line.
Number 11 Trailer takes the handoff, takes himself just short of the touchdown. Number 52, Joe
about
Boyd.
2:10 left here in the game. The Vikings still on top, 52-17.
Third and goal for Gaylord. Excuse me. Second down and 3 on the 3-yard line right now. About 1:45 left in the fourth quarter.
All right, I'm going to go down in the field now and see if I can get an interview with Coach Otluski here for the post game. I'm going to leave Jack up here by himself.
Number 11, Taylor takes it inside. Just short. 30 inches right now. Really excellent hustle.
Dalvin Myers. Fourth down. Fourth and goal.
It's 4th and goal for Gaylord right now. 1 minute left in the game, 52-17 Vikings. Just trying to put a few more points on the board, make the game a little more respectable. That great hustle.
Warriors 33, Harper Creek 20.
Number 11 Taylor ready to take the snap. High formation. Hand off to number 41. And another pitch. 21 Bratton Kay goes in for the score. Great play by Gaylord. Moves him up to 23.
How's that?
It's good. 36 seconds left on the clock. Sure, they'll try to go for the 2-point conversion right now. And that's what they're doing. They got split left and right. High formation. Taylor with the snap, makes the pass to the corner. And it's caught by number 22, Chad Steele, for the 2-point conversion. It's a nice pass. Just look at the ice on the field after it's jumped on Coach Charlie Otluski. Cold water can't feel if you can't feel too good on a night like tonight. Let's look at the Viking sideline. Derek Johnson, Stewie Gliwa. Obviously very happy with the win tonight. 9-0, perfect season, going into playoffs. Chances are the first playoff game will be back here at Haslett. It's ought to help a ton in front of a home crowd, such a big game like that. '56, Dustin Miller ready to kick off for Gaylord. Barnhart and Eric deep for Haslett. To Squibb. Penalty on the play. Looks like a face mask. Number 40, Ryan Walker, picked up the kick. Got brought down. Let's see what the call is. Yep, face mask on Gaylord. Probably only a 5-yard penalty, didn't intentionally do it. Got 31 seconds left on the clock, 52-25 Haslett. Look at Steve Shepard, excellent game tonight, very strong runner.
Haslett touchdown. Ball at the 38-yard line.
38-yard line of Gaylord. Haslett has the ball. 1st and 10. Number 83, Pat Saltzgaber, in for QB. 3-man deep, or in the backfield, excuse me. He downs the ball, just run the clock off. 25 seconds left, they're just letting it tick away. And they're just gonna let it go. Teams leaving their sidelines out onto the field. Final score, 52-25 Haslett. Finishes the season 9-0. Excellent game. Logan Barnhart, 200+ yards. Fans rushing the field right now. But they're turned back by Charlie Otluski. They just stopped and turned around. A ritual handshake after the game. Good sportsmanship. Sure, they're thanking the players from Gaylord coming this long way on a Friday evening to play a football game. The Vikings in their huddle down by the field along with many Haslett students. They'll sing the fight song and celebrate the big victory and a perfect season. Excellent game by the Vikings tonight. That would be a great motivator going into the playoffs. Chances are they will come back here for the first game. Still undecided, but it's definitely up in the air right now. Gaylord being talked to by their coaches. Seems like there's some sign language going on. I wonder if there's a deaf player on the team. I'm sure there is. I'd like to thank all the fans for Haslett and for Gaylord for coming a long way, the TV25 crew. Of course, the football team for such a great game. Coach Charlie Otluski with his wife and 2 kids. Coach Rob Port. Looks like he got some water on his back too. I'm sure he's ready to go back inside of the locker room. We're gonna go down to the field and got sideline correspondent Evan Woodward with Coach Charlie Otluski.
All right, down here on the field with Coach Otluski. First of all, Coach, congratulations. 9-0 on the season, and just fantastic game tonight. They really opened it up. It was very interesting to see him pass the ball a lot. And were you guys expecting them to pass that much?
Expecting them to pass?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've thrown quite a bit the last 2 or 3 weeks, and so it wasn't anything we didn't expect. They ran the fade pattern better than we've seen anybody all year long, and we got to learn how to defend that better.
Yeah, they had a lot of good receivers to throw the ball to, and I'm sure you're going to see a lot of that next week. Now, Coach, we know you're 9-0. We know you've won the ICL championship, but just how good is this Viking team? I mean, are they good enough to win this first regional game and go on and win the next one, possibly go to the Dome? Just how good is this club? I know that you've coached the state championships, and just how good is this team?
We're as good as anybody in our region right now, but we got to go prove it, and things got to happen. And but there's nobody that is like the team to win it. So we're as good as anybody in our region, and we got to focus on next week and not look down the road and go from there.
It's going to be very difficult to do that, though. I mean, when you think that finally making the playoffs for just the second time in the school's history.
But the real important thing is that there's two ways to look at playoffs. You can be satisfied with getting in, and then before you know it, you're out, and you're talking about what a great year it was, or you're not satisfied with getting there. We want to play to the end of November, and that's the key part.
Yeah, we're very, very sure the guys aren't satisfied just to get there. So congratulations, Coach. Good luck in the coming weeks. All right. Well, for Jack Casey up in the booth, for Brian Towner, sports director, for the entire cast and crew here tonight, this is Evan Woodward signing off for TV's 25 Sports. Good night.